Hi everyone, this is Christine with Black Tea News, and today we're going to talk about Demi Lovato coming out as non-binary. But before we jump into it, please go to blackteenews.com, check out content that I have there. I just wrote a really good article, I think anyway, on how sex and gender are absolutely not separate. You can check out that other content that I have. You can check out different videos that I have there. You can see where I am on all my platforms, and also you can check out the store. And if you would like to support, which I do sincerely ask that you support if you would like to and can, you can do so at the website, or you can do it right there through PayPal or through Cash App through one of those links. So Demi Lovato now identifies as non-binary. Her pronouns are they/them, and I'm sorry when I think of they/them, and I just kind of think about this.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
And I know what you're thinking. How dare she? How dare she mention Ghost Rider? I'm sorry. That's alright. No, but seriously. So she identifies as non-binary, and Demi Lovato is an interesting person who's had a pretty dark past and tussle with fame. She's been very open about her addiction. She's been very erratic lately. She had some kind of run-in at some kind of retail, food store or something. I don't know if it was yogurt or cookies or something, and she was upset that something was like fat free, and she felt like they were judging her, or the cookie or something was judging her, and she felt triggered. And so there's a lot going on with her, and so now there's this announcement that she's non-binary. And on my article I said that sex and gender are not separate, and even though people say that they are, nobody really believes that, because you think about J.K. Rowling and how much hate that she got for saying like that sex is real, and for saying men, cannot menstruate. Having a period, it doesn't get more biological than that. It's not something you can identify into. It's not something that you can identify out of. If you could, I wouldn't be into it. Just wouldn't. For the purposes of having a baby, sure, but I'm not crazy about my period pills. You have these instances where you have something tied up like in biology, but people who identify as a woman based off of stereotypes generally still get offended when they can't be included in the biology. And then you got like Cori Bush, who's a congressperson, but she's an activist first. Even though she's had a baby, she's up there representing the birthing people, and it's like, dude, no. Having babies, like, only women can do that naturally. It is a very biological thing. So the fact that you're trying to include anyone other than a woman, that doesn't make any sense. Like, sex and gender are tied together, and you're kind of like acknowledging it without acknowledging that it's sort of meaningless when it's not tied together. So you can identify your way with stereotypes in anything that you want, but the truth is that gender is not a social construct. Your idea that it is a social construct. And if it is a social construct and society dictates what is a man and what is a woman, I think society has hands down decided that it's something that's tied to gender and sex. So I believe they know that they're on a losing debate, but they just have to convince you that we've already lost. So that's really the plot. And that's why you're not allowed to have debate. That's why you're not allowed to have discussions. That's why a lot of these things are labeled hate speech. That's why Amazon banned When Harry Became Sally. That's why, people try to stop selling like Abigail Schreier's book about irreversible damage. Even though it's not compassionate to lie to people. It's compassionate to have real conversations and find the best solutions for people, and not let people just kind of self-diagnose themselves with gender dysphoria. And that's what we've seen. And it's really a big epidemic among women. And it really is a problem, a new trend that's just a problem with a lot of young women who are disturbed about inner things that make them unhappy, and the way that they kind of relieve themselves is by turning to being transgender. Demi Lovato, I don't envy her life for sure, and I believe she has a lot of things to work out, and that is pretty darn evident. And I hope she is able to find peace and to realize that, you know, she's fearfully and wonderfully made, and that God doesn't make mistakes, and the only mistake that we make is not realizing how the Lord sees us. So I wish her the best. On a side note, though, I wonder how, and if anyone's LGBT listening to this, you can let me know. You're probably maybe mad at me by now, but thanks for sticking around. You know, how does you feel when, like, there's people who are, like, clearly going through some things? They're like, yeah, I'm whatever, and they, like, hop in on the alphabet soup. Like, do you feel like, nah, I don't want to claim you? Like Demi Lovato, she's obviously had issues, and as of late as well, and she's like, I'm non-binary. And then, like, before her, Colton from, like, The Bachelor, you know, he's like, I'm gay. And it's like, okay, where you were just, like, stalking a girl though, right? Like, that was a thing. Like, you don't need to be doing interviews. Like, you need to be, like, in therapy, man. Like like glad you found yourself, I guess, but like, you need some time, dude. And, you know, Andrew Gillum, who wanted to be the governor of Florida, you guys dodged a freaking bullet, man. So he was a married man, and then he got, you know, discovered in a hotel with man and, like, drugs. Like, that's a thing, yeah. And then he, like, had an interview later with his wife, you know, holding her hand and stuff, just like, yeah, I'm bisexual. It's like, well, that's not breaking news. We understand that. But it's like, I don't know, they use it to kind of, like, get out of jail free card. Because, and you saw the same thing with Kevin Spacey, and he's like, oh, when you got, like, when there's an allegation of him touching a young boy, he's like, I'm a gay man. I choose to live as a gay man now. And it's like, I guess I could guess that before, but dude, you like, this is a serious allegation. Like, I'm gay, I'm part of the community. It's like, so how do you guys feel about, like, that being, like, a trend to, like, get out of trouble? Last thing I want to say is that Demi Lovato, like, also, like, I guess has this podcast that she has too, and so one of her guests that she decided to have on is this, he's a pervert. He's a total pervert, and just because you're all, like, on the same team does not mean that you should have people on, because they could be a pervert. And if you know, maybe she doesn't know, but this is kind of a wide thing, I think, that people know that is associated with this person. And why would you say anything like that if you weren't a predator? So she's having a pervert and a predator on her show. And I would not want to claim this such person anyway. This is someone who should be ostracized. I'm not saying that I don't believe in, like, forgiveness or whatever. Of course I believe in forgiveness, but, you know, forgiveness requires, like, repentance, and I think there's also, like, deliverance there. So I don't think that he's there. So I definitely would not have him on my show. Especially if you want to make the LGBT community, the LGBT beyond community, you know, one that's, like, really, really accepted, I suppose. But, you know, it is already a very accepted community. I mean, it's not stunning and brave to come out and say that you're queer or non-binary, or if you're gay or whatever. There's just a lot of fad surrounding it. I mean, there used to be this huge stigma if you would come out as something like this, but now it's, like, widely celebrated. When Pride Month comes along, like, corporations are, like, so into it. They celebrate Pride Month more than they celebrate Black History Month. There's not, like, some kind of martyr complex that you have to have, though I'm sure people carry it when they decide to come out. Though there will be people who obviously say something in, like, a commentary sort of manner, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to get plenty of adulation from people around them. And Demi Lovato, I'm sure she's getting, like, some pushback for some people, but mostly there's people in her ear telling her how great she is and affirming her decisions. And when you have people like that who just affirm all your decisions, that's you can get into a really dark place, which she has before because of, drugs and other stuff like that. But I wish her well. I wish her the best. What do you guys think about all this? I know that some Republicans and maybe like libertarians and libertarian leaning people, whatever, believe that conversations like this are just useless, and we should, not useless, but like we focus too much time talking about it, and we should focus on like taxes and fighting socialism and stuff like that. But there's really a big push to not talk about these things, and there's obviously a lot of people who can be harmed. Abigail Shrier wrote about this in her book Irreversible Damage, and like Amazon was banned when Harry became Sally. Ryan T. Anderson's book, which Chad Felix Green wrote, that book really helped them, and it was very compassionate and respectful. But Amazon doesn't care. They don't want to have this conversation, and you know what, they're pushing this sort of stuff in your schools, and they're pushing it everywhere that they can, even like infiltrating places of the church, and it'll get worse if people don't speak up in some sort of way. So if you want to just like hide in the shadows and do what you want to do and not like contribute to this conversation, you're free to talk about whatever you're going to talk about, but I'm definitely going to focus on these things as well as taxes and whatever, because I can walk and chew gum at the same time, though I do not really like gum. But anyway, guys, please visit blacktnews.com and check out the content that I have there. You can read that article that I've been referencing and tell me what you think about it. Share it around, and also check out where I am on other platforms. You can watch other videos that I have, but obviously you're in the right spot wherever you're watching videos because you're watching the video. And please check out the store. That really helps me a lot. I'm sure that you'll find something that you love, but also please, if you would like to donate, I thank you for that. You can do that on blacktnews.com/donate, or you can do that via PayPal, or you can do that via Cash App. And I will see you guys next time.